Live. It's the fans' perspective. I'm Tyson, just waiting for Josh to come in to start our brand new morning show.
Well, you don't have to. You can bear the phone. That's not a big deal. I was going to say if I use my computer, we might slow that up. That's right. Yeah. It worked really good without someone else connecting.
Yes. Fans'
yes.
perspective. I'm Tyson, just waiting for Josh to come in to
Do
start
we
our brand new
want
morning
to
show.
the link to guys to come on? That's not a big deal. I was going to say if I use my computer, we might slow that up. That's right. Yeah. Can you work really good without someone else?
I guess it's something.
There's not any options random just coming on. Phone in. Yeah. Phone in.
Just waiting for there we go.
Tyson.
Good morning there, partner. How's she going?
Good. We tried to hook it up through a laptop again, but it doesn't like me.
You got no video or audio yet on your end.
Okay, well let's play with that. There we go. Should be
Just
audio now.
I got nothing here. Do you?
So you have me muted.
I don't know. Give me a minute, Josh. I will get it here.
There. Is it working yet? No. It just says that you have me muted.
Hey, and if you want to text,
Do I hear you? No.
Text Tyson at 662-7.
I got something else going on here. Just hang on a sec. I can hear you now.
But anyways, a couple things I like.
It says that you have me muted.
No, I got you now.
Being genuinely
I just got something else playing. I don't know where it's playing yet.
In YouTube.
Yeah, I can hear you now. He looks good. He looks good.
I think I am on YouTube right now. I gotta just.
All I can see is glad I just got something else playing. I don't know where it's playing. No, I got you.
Are we good? No.
I just got.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Where I think I am on YouTube right now. I don't. All I can see is I just got
Okay,
You
I
can't
will
hear
do
me.
that in a second. As I said, calcium chloride got me a little bit yesterday, so I can hear you. Yeah, I just got to get this other thing muted here. So
Okay, if you can hear me, yeah, you mute that.
okay,
And then it'll just be you and me talking, and there won't be any replay. But when we go live on YouTube, that volume automatically stays on.
I said
how are we there now?
I don't hear no back feed. You can hear me. I can hear you.
You betcha.
Perfect. Yeah, it automatically when I log on, it mutes me in case you're giving like a speech or something. So then on your end, you have to I don't even know where you have to unmute me, and then it allows me to be obliterate.
All right. Well, there we go.
If you want, you can with the podcast. If we've got that rolling, you can stop it and we can restart it now, and then they don't have to.
No, I didn't have it rolling yet, so I'm.
Well, that's perfect.
I just got to now. I got to find back. Oh, here we go. I just had to minimize the YouTube. I had screens going everywhere, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really weird setup with the YouTube and the actual Zoom feature.
Yeah, so I was in delay, but let's get rolling here because we time is money, buddy.
Time is money lately, man. I'll tell you. Have you started the podcast?
We're starting right now.
Woo, let's go.
Live and welcome to the Fans Perspective. I'm Tyson.
I'm Josh. Same old, same old.
Same old, same old. Welcome to an all-new morning show, the breakfast show, coffee, and let's get rolling. It's been a while. I'm just going to go over the NFL scores, then we're going to talk about them, all right? So last night, Pittsburgh 20, Tennessee 16, Kansas City 21, Miami 14, Atlanta 28, Minnesota 31, Baltimore Ravens 37-3 victory over the Seahawks. Cleveland pounds Arizona 27-0. Green Bay 20, LA Chargers 3. Houston, CJ Stroud, big day. 39-37 winners over Tampa Bay. Washington over New England in a snoozer 20-17. Where are we? Chicago loses to New Orleans 17. New Orleans 24. Carolina losers to Indianapolis 27-13. Vegas big winners over the Giants, but who wouldn't beat the Giants 30-6?
Yep.
Philadelphia Eagles victorious over Dallas 28-23. And in the Sunday nighter, Cincinnati 24, Buffalo 18. Take it away, my friend.
I don't know, man. It was some weird stuff yesterday. I'll tell you, the Miami Dolphins game I thought was going to be more exciting. Obviously, some jet lag. Mahomes maybe isn't still 100% healthy, but I mean, Kelsey never got used at all. Miami's offense never really looked explosive. That game wasn't as good as I was hoping it to be. Let's be honest. That one started the day kind of shitty. It was a good game back and forth kind of, but not a great game to be honest. A little sloppy. The Eagles looked great. They're AJ Brown, just give him the ball, give that guy the damn ball all day long, and good things are going to happen. Their defense is good.
We're going to have to give him the ball. I just read this morning Dallas Gabbert suffers a broken forearm in that game. So
no way.
Yeah, surgery is out 4 to 6 weeks. So
okay, well that's better than the other. Okay, yeah, okay. My biggest surprise and probably the greatest thing of the day, which I was so pumped for this kid, is Josh Dobbs with the Minnesota Vikings. Hadn't taken a snap, had never thrown a football to one receiver, only knew 3 of the guys on the team, it said. And he comes in there and he has to play because the main guy gets injured and he kills it. I'm pumped for this kid. Like, that is no easy task to get a playbook on Wednesday for a new team. Never have taken a hut from your center and you go in there and you do a comeback victory. Josh Dobbs get my player of the week, even though CJ Stroud was absolutely phenomenal.
He was, and what a rookie season! Like 470 yards yesterday.
5 touchdowns.
He's a stud, and man, Houston's got to be excited about their future, eh?
They got rid of Deshaun Watson and they got him. Hallelujah.
Yeah, and getting back to Dobbs, does Minnesota have their future quarterback? As we know, Kirk Cousins is out for the season, free agent.
Honestly, what a crazy way to yeah, like what a crazy way to get things done, man. I don't know. What a weird, sometimes weird things happen for the right reasons, you know? Um, I feel bad because I love Kirk and he's done so much for them, but this might be the easiest way for them to transition. I mean, Josh Dobbs, everywhere he goes, he turns a team kind of into a winner. He ends up in a shitty situation and starts winning with those teams. I mean, look at these little track records, pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, well, did Arizona get rid of the right guy? Not saying they would have, been able to keep Dobbs with their other so-called quarterback. Of course, we all know who we're talking about,
Mini
but
man.
Miniman, yeah. I don't know. Arizona's a mess. They really
They are
are.
a mess.
They
They
got a
are.
big contract. I don't know. They just seem to be missing everything everywhere.
I agree. Go into the Bills Bengals for a second. I just got to answer an office email real quick. Someone just asked me a question. So
Yeah.
go give me your thoughts on that game.
Bills,
'Cause that
Bengals.
was
Buffalo. I'm really shocked. They can't score. All they got is Diggs. Bengals, after going 0-3, look amazing.
yep.
Burrow is back. Chase is back. Higgins is back. Like they got a real good team. I think they are a Super Bowl contender as it stands right now. And
Yes.
one thing I was going to get into a little bit more than anything else was the injuries in the NFL are just piling up.
Oh man. And for all the teams, do you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
crazy. It's terrible. It's no good. It's not good for the league.
no.
Who all went down that you know of yesterday?
Well, the Giants lost their quarterback for the season. It's rumored ACL injury.
Yeah. No,
Um,
and that one looked ugly. Like if there's no way that that's not like that.
no,
That looked terrible.
no. Gabbard is out with a forearm break. It seemed like every game I was watching, and I surfed through all the red zone games basically with NFL Red Zone. There is a significant injury on every
Yeah.
game.
So I had to clean up the hall from ladies' night out and all or the curling rink, and so I was just back and forth. So I just followed it on my phone, but I'm not kidding. Even with my Ravens game, it was crazy because every once in a while I would just look at my phone and I'm like, well, why hadn't the score changed? Why didn't the score change? And you look, and it's because they were battling with an injury on the field at the same time.
Yeah. Well, just a question for you. Did you have to dress up as a lady to do the ladies' night out
no,
thing?
they let me dress up like a man. They said I'm small enough to look like a woman anyways, so they just let me stick with that.
Well, hey, we'll roll with that. So
Yeah, no, I wore regular clothes, ball cap. It was quite a night though. Them ladies drank like fish and they suffered yesterday.
they know how to bring it. They do. When you let them let their hair down, look out.
Oh God, it was disgusting. Guys are way less dirty when they're drunk. Women are ridiculous, man. That was oh
Great,
so
great
the
event for a
Ravens.
local town, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was just it's been a long time since they've done it, and they had a blast. It was a great fundraiser. I'd say they probably made over 10 grand that night
Wow.
for the rec board, which is awesome. Like it's hockey season. That place isn't cheap to run. It's curling season, so it's gonna
Yeah.
be. And the hall is done. So this week we've got the big function at the hall. I've got 200 pounds of meat on right now for that cook. So I'm gonna get that done this morning and then put that away for Friday's event.
So you're wearing a lot of caps today. You're wearing your insurance hat, you're wearing your chef's hat, and obviously
Yeah,
your Ravens hat as well.
yeah, and the Ravens, to go back to them, they had a good game. I really like their defense. Their offense is still finding its rhythm for sure. But that Keaton Mitchell got his first snaps yesterday, and
Look
holy
great.
shit, he is fast. Yeah, like as long as we can keep our O line healthy, him and that Gus Edwards together is a great 1-2 punch. I get it now why Harbaugh said we don't really need to go the Derrick Henry route and change things up right now. We got some good. He really liked the way the team was gelling, and the price wasn't perfect because the Titans said they weren't giving him away. There was no way.
No.
And the Ravens didn't want to give away more of their future when you've already got so much money locked up in a quarterback. You can't afford to give too much of that away just for one season. So I'm seeing Keaton Mitchell the way he broke out yesterday. 9 carries, 140 yards, touchdown. Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm okay with this so far. Let's see how week 2 goes.
And an undrafted rookie he is. So
yes, he is. Yeah, that seems to
I
be the
love the
Ravens
story.
way.
Love the story. Like overlooked obviously his whole career, and then bang, gets an opportunity, and he's kind of Brock Purdy-esque kind of deal.
Yeah, in that sense for sure. And like I said, that just like Josh Dobbs, I love when kind of underdogs get their chance. Let's go.
Yeah, and did you see I posted yesterday what Brock Purdy does between football games?
Yeah, he works.
Yeah, he works. He was out at the farm combine, and what a great guy. I love him now. Like, I love him.
I always did love him. Do you know that he can't even afford rent in San Francisco? He lives with an offensive lineman.
I hear you could probably, move into one of the tent cities because within San Francisco. He'd be a god there.
That's about all that's affordable right now in that shitty city.
Well,
Terrible,
there's
man.
not much more affordable here. Unless you're in Atlantic Canada, you get a tax exemption from the carbon tax, and out west we get basically just shit on. And they keep talking about the rural rebate. Well, that adds up to nothing. And Atlantic Canada also gets the rural rebate as well, which no one is talking about.
Yeah, what a nice guy Trudeau is, to give him their carbon tax credit. What a great guy, he just gives and gives and gives some more of that guy.
He does. And the great thing about it, about Trudeau, is he's in a sinking ship and we're holding the plug. And I
hope you're right. He's got to go, man. There ain't nothing good about that man.
Oh, and he painted himself into a corner that he can't get out of this time. Like,
he's been loving painting himself since blackface. He's been painting himself.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, he's been finger painting since he was 4 years old. He's a pro.
He's been doing something with his fingers, whether it's picking his nose or whatever.
Well, it ain't running a country, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. CFL playoffs first round this weekend. Montreal over Hamilton, 27-12. Cody Fajardo, the ex-Rider, moving on.
I never hated him last year. I know everyone gave him a hard time. I said he got sacked too much, but honestly, I'm thinking Saskatchewan was the problem in that one. He's winning again with a different team. That seems to be
a no-brainer, right? Like
common theme here.
We're a quarterback killer. We have no O-line. We have receivers, but we can't get them the ball.
Exactly. We do not have a scheme for them. We do not have the right coach for them. We do not have the right protection for them. And it seems like that ain't going to change because other than our coaching, nothing is getting changed in Saskatchewan. So that's sad, but good for Cody. I was pumped to see him beat out Hamilton because I hate that Simone Lawrence and Bo Levi Mitchell. So way to go, Montreal. And on the other side, way to go, BC Lions, taking out them ugly Stampeders.
Taking Natasha and the Stampeders and...
Well, Natasha I like, but the Stampeders... Bleh.
Natasha is great, but I do hate the Stampeders just as much as the Flames. We'll get into that here a little bit later on. Like, I got no grounds to stand on now. Like,
neither of us have ground. We are standing on the smallest ice cube in the middle of a...
I switched to volleyball because volleyball playoffs are coming. I can no longer be a hockey fan. It's embarrassing, but we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, BC over Calgary 41-30. BC was the better team. Moving forward to this weekend now, Toronto, Montreal, BC, Calgary. Just a quick preview of what you think, who you picking in those games.
I mean, honestly, I got to go with the main horses. I think if anyone's got a chance to do the upset, it's BC because they are very good. But Winnipeg just seems to know how to win. They've got that. I think they're still there. And Toronto's been so good. I can't see anyone beating them. However, you know how that works with playoffs. You get that week off. You're better than everybody else. You got a big-time underdog story coming in with Montreal. There's a chance, if all goes the way it should go, it should be a Winnipeg-Toronto final, no question. But BC has that dog in them. They can throw. They had a few games this year that looked like no one could beat them. And I love that underdog. Like, I mean, Montreal's coming in there with no chance. So what the hell? You got nothing to lose. Play loose.
No. One thing I think, like Toronto has really rested guys down the stretch. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing because Kelly hasn't played a lot in the last.
No, I don't love it. I love the idea of resting your body, but I'm afraid that it never works. I mean, look at every sport in baseball when they get their breaks and they don't play enough and all that stuff, man. Everybody rested. Yeah, their body feels great, but their mind, athletes just got to stay in it, like living in it. Like that 1 week, bye week in football, that's important. Football is so physical. I understand that. But at the end of the season, when you're just getting into playoffs, it's totally different.
You know, I think I'm going to use that line on my wife tonight. Honey, I don't think we should rest because I could get rusty.
That's right. There will be no rest, honey. You don't want to see what happens with a bye week. You do not want.
Yeah. We don't have a bye night. Like we play hard every night.
Every night, honey. You know what? There's only a short span in my season. We're gonna have to go hard every night.
Yeah. And it's been a while since we've had a show. So we do have the Texas Rangers as the World Series champs. They cruised right on through. Had two massive injuries in the World Series and still crushed it.
Yeah, they were destined, man. All season. My buddy lives down there, and he's a huge Rangers fan. He said, "Man, we got something here. We got something here." And man, he was right.
Yeah,
God, he was right. They were good. They were deep. They were talented. And man, when they needed their bats to come to life, did they ever come to life?
Yeah, and to think that Texas had a pile of losses last year. They went from the outhouse to the penthouse in one calendar year.
That's impressive, man. I love it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'd rather it not be them, but for them, good for them.
Hey, there's hope for the Jays now because we are in the outhouse. So
yeah, absolutely. There's always in baseball. There's always hope for next year, man. There's just so many moves you can make, or the same guys can just get their heads out of their asses. Baseball's a different sport. It's just such a. I'm finding it more and more.
We're into free agency in baseball, so that's kind of a crazy thing. But we'll see if the great Shohei Ohtani, what his contract looks like, because I think it's going to be insane.
I think so too. Yeah, I agree. And,
all right, well, let's move on to the NHL here. I'm just going to pull up the scores from last night, and then we probably got a little bit to talk about there. Like
we do have lots to talk about.
We had the Heritage Classic, and oh man, it was.
And the Heritage Classic should have been a launching pad for the Oilers. They played much better on their home ice. It was electric. It looked awesome on TV. The boys wearing the new threads, they came out, they dominated the Flames, and then it just didn't. I don't understand right now what is going on because the Oilers have a great team, but they just aren't playing great, and I don't get that at all. McDavid comes back for the game, sparks them. They played great that game. It wasn't a shitty game. They played great. And then it's just like the next night, it's like, oh, well, now we'll go back to normal because it's not the Flames and we just hate them. And it's like, guys, you got to have that killer instinct with everybody. You should just destroy everybody.
You should. It's sad, but
and they still can. I mean, it's super early for them because the Oilers have the talent to go on a 15-game winning streak. That's absolutely possible. Wow. But they got to get a streak going soon.
We'll discuss it right away. But last night in the NHL, New Jersey over Chicago 4-2. I seen Mr. Bedard had a goal again.
Yep.
Where are we? Vegas loses to Anaheim 4-2. So only 2 games.
Saw that.
Yeah, only 2 games in the NHL last night. Toronto's on a 4-game skid.
Yep.
Actually, Team Canada is in trouble other than the Vancouver Canucks.
The Canucks are playing great hockey, man. I watched the game 3-4 days ago, the one before the Dallas game. Man, they look good. They move the puck constantly. That's just something that was something I noticed right away. Nobody carries it more than like 10 feet. And it's just on the tape. They just move it, cycle it so well. Really nice
they
to see.
They are a team. I think Rick Tockett's persona is coming out in his team now. Like Rick Tocchet,
Yeah.
I think he's a pit bull of a coach. You better toe the line. You better play defensively. You better play the right way, or you're getting an earful.
Yeah, I agree. But I think the players must like him because, that was also Sutter, but the players hated him. Like he obviously must have the side to him that the players respect and actually get along with, but they know there is a fine line there because, yeah,
Oh,
Tocchet is definitely, he would be a little bit more of the old school coach. There's no doubt.
well, and I think Tocchet is young enough and mean enough that he could probably just pound you in a
Yeah,
one-on-one. Like,
I was going to say, let's do a little one-on-one drill, boys. You're going to play that on the ice? I'll show you something. Yeah.
and it's weird, and we're gonna tie this, or I'll tie this in with the Edmonton Oilers, and like it seems like a coach has such a small window now because within 1 to 3 years, the players tune you out. It seems like, and you're just, you know, I don't know what you're a recycled pop can. They just,
You
throw
know,
you out after.
we've talked about it, Tyson. They've taken all the power and all the integrity out of the coaches. They've given everything to the players. And I get it. They're the show on the ice, but it never pans out well that way. Like any sport, any job, any proper description of anything, you need a leader. And your leader is generally the boss, the owner. It starts from the top down. That's how things work. Just like why our countries are in shambles. Our governments are the biggest joke. Doesn't matter if you and me are integrous and great people, we don't got a leader giving us what we need to survive or to grow and to get better. And it's the same thing. These guys in the NHL, the players can go to the owners and get the coaches fired. Like
Yeah.
that's not the way it's supposed to be. There
No,
is
or
a
they could
hierarchy.
just, yeah, they could just play like the Oilers, and that also gets the coach fired. And
Yeah, like it hurts me because good coaches have been let go, like and they never, especially in Canada under our, because we are so heavy invested in our teams, we love them so much, the fans are so involved. It gets the owners shaking and roaring. They're like, oh, I gotta fire him again. 2 years later, you didn't even give the guy time to set up his own team. You
no,
know, like
no,
coaches need 5 years. 5 years is probably the smallest window that you should give a coach, the smallest, to see
yeah,
what he's got.
yeah.
Unless he, of course, asks for their cell phones for pictures of their girlfriends. That's a little different, old Babcock there. But
I'm still wondering in the problem of that. Like he's just
yeah,
trying to live through his team. Like,
I just want to. Yeah, that's true. You know what, Babcock? We feel for you. Come on the show. We'll chat it out.
he obviously, has no off ice life, so he's just trying to live through his players. So,
Probably right. You're
and
probably
there's
right.
some. I'm willing to bet there's some pretty good pictures. You can maybe even some cool videos.
I would think there's probably some nice boats, maybe nice
Yeah,
fancy restaurants. I'm sure there's
yeah,
some very nice shiny things.
yeah. Even some nice unshiny things. I'm thinking.
There is probably a few dull things. Yes.
Okay, give us your thoughts on the Flames.
Okay. I would love to see them completely do the overhaul that's been needed for probably 12 years. That let's bring up the best of the Wranglers. Let's cut our losses with the big boys. Healthy, scratch them. Maybe that's what they need. Huberdeau, Kadri, have them sit for 6 games in a row. Give me, this last weekend they did. They pulled up 3 rookies and we won. And the one guy was, I think, second star of the game. Get rid of Vladar. He's actually worth something. Guys are asking for him. There's been 3 or 4 teams approach them. And they said, well, he's a starter in this league. Well, you're already paying Markstrom. Keep Markstrom. Get rid of Vladar. Maybe get some picks. And bring up Derek Wolf. Give him his chance. He now has the best season starting record to any AHL goalie of any time. His save percentage is like 981 with 2 shutouts. He's 5-0-1. Like, give the kid the shot he deserves. Let him be the backup. Let him play his 10 to 12 games. What does it matter? We should tank to get some picks anyways. And if we don't tank, well, then we got the young team that we're looking for. Like, it's a no-brainer to me. But that team has been destined to, if we have a chance to playoffs, we always got to try. Like, what does 8th place do for you? You're just going to lose out in the first or second round anyways. You don't have the goaltender to take any further, and you don't have that random superstar that might just spark you. They're in the middle at best. They're below middle. Let's start playing the rookies. Bench those overpaid assholes. I know we could lose money over it. And believe you me, Tyson, we're not going to lose any fans or viewership over it. everybody I've talked to that is a Flames fan, I think there's 6 of us that live in Saskatchewan. They all think the same way. They're like, why don't we just play Papasil and this all these guys? There's like 6 or 7
All the young guys.
Play them. What the hell?
Yeah.
What, you've got nothing to lose. We ain't good enough. So
No.
so I think it's a joke. Their whole organization very similar to the Riders. It's like, we'll move this piece, but not the rest of them. And it's like, we're just gonna suck again. I can't take sucking too much longer.
You know
But
what
that's
I
my
think?
thoughts on them.
I think there's too much pressure on coach nowadays. It's a win now. What have you done for me lately? And they do not get a chance to develop anything
If they
because
told Huska you get 5 years, no problem. He'd be doing it already.
they are out the door. And maybe, just maybe, the NHL and the NFL have to come in with like the CFL. Maybe the CFL's ahead of their time. I hate having a coach's or whatever coach's salary cap.
Salary, yeah.
But maybe that is the right way to give the coaches a little security.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? Otherwise, you're disposable.
Though, yeah. And even if there's no cap, they're still disposable to the right teams. I mean, my God, what is the Raiders paying Gruden and McDaniel? Something like 40-some million a year between the two of them for like the next 5 years or something crazy. Like, it's absurd.
Them poor bastards. Like, who doesn't want to get fired and get that contract?
That's what I said. I said, I'm aspiring to be a fired NFL coach at this point. Like, they don't have to do it. There's no pressure on Sunday. They can now come hang out with us, Tyson, and just watch it, but make more than the players.
Maybe we could get McDaniels on the show and we could talk about football here because it looks like his schedule's open.
He's fairly open. I would love to get him on the show.
And the Raiders are just in shambles moving back to the NFL.
God.
Like,
I feel bad. I checked halfway through the game yesterday. Devontae Adams had 1 target.
Yeah.
For like 3 yards. Like,
he's
they're
going
not
to
even
want
throwing.
out.
Oh, he already said, like, they're not throwing him open. They're not doing the A.J. Brown thing. They're not giving him the down-the-field routes. They're making him do crossers and all this. That is not where he's supposed to be.
No. And he's a buyout candidate at the end of the year or a release. They're going to cut ties because we all know in the NFL, contract really means nothing. And you can renegotiate or whatever.
He'll end up with like a, maybe the Ravens type of team. He'll end up with a team that's going to look for a number 1 because you never know. Because everybody needs a number 1. Like, I would love the Ravens to have a solid number 1. I like our receiving core, but it's more like that widespread out, like the Kansas City Chiefs style, I do think ours is more talented than the Chiefs this year for the first time. I do believe
I hope so, man. Because I got the Chiefs-Ravens game circled. That's a battle for first in the AFC.
Yeah, it will be depending on how the next few Ravens games go. This week they're in tough, man. The Browns, I think this week on
Browns
Sunday.
are no slouch.
No, their defense is killer, man. Their offense is not good. Like, you look at all their stats, they're not good at all, actually. Like, brutal. Yeah. But their defense literally is winning games. So
there's a lot of good teams in the NFL this year. I would say the AFC has more quality teams than the NFC myself. I think there's San Francisco, Philadelphia, kind of on the NFC side. I think in the AFC, there's the Bengals, there's the Ravens, there's the Chiefs, there's the Dolphins, there's the Browns. Like, there are a lot of teams in the AFC.
Yeah, there's some dogs on that side. I don't believe we have the flashy team like the Eagles. I don't think we have that.
No, maybe not.
We got that grit, like I used to think the Dolphins were flashy, but they're really not. They're just really fast. But it looks to me like you could scheme for that a bit. Like the Chiefs defense, what I noticed is they hit them on the line every time. They just bumped guys constantly and got away with it, which is fine. That's coaching. But it pissed them off to the point where they're off on their routes a bit. There was missed throws that hadn't missed all year. And it could have been jet lag. Don't get me wrong. But it just looked like they were just off a hair, and I think the Chiefs figured it out. You just got to nick them up a bit, not dirty. Just get them off their route a tad. Like, don't play them tight. Literally brush them on that 2-yard line.
Yeah. So are they playing a game over there? Like, is that what they're doing? Because they got a game every week there, it seems like.
Yeah, so Germany got this one, and then next week I feel bad for them. They got, like, the Colts and somebody shitty. I don't know who the other. But it's not.
I thought you were gonna say they're like playing in Gaza or something like that.
Yeah, no, yeah, just in support, of the whole war thing. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the only war zone that you could go play in because it's probably friendlier than it is here is probably over in Ukraine because I ain't never seen no footage of that one. All I see is the footage of the other one.
Well, it's crazy times in the NFL. We're getting to mid-November where things really tighten up and
Yep.
games are even more important. And I am super stoked. That's the only team I got is my Eagles, and
Wow.
that's all I'm living
Hello.
for.
That's the only thing both of us got. All we got is our NFL baby. That's it. The rest of our.
Actually, I think we'll just quit talking hockey on the show moving forward. And
Hey, how are the Tigers doing? That's something I haven't been
hey,
following.
Tigers are first in the Eastern Conference. How about
Oh,
them Tigers?
no way.
Yes, they have
Wow.
reached the top 10 in Canada. And if you haven't gone out to see our local boys, the Medicine Hat Tigers, do so because they are a team on the rise.
And what about the Broncos then? Where do they
Broncos
sit?
are eighth in the Eastern Conference. So
Okay.
they're a little down there. Yeah. Saskatoon Blades right behind the Tigers. Those are 1-2. And then there's a
Awesome.
bit of a drop off. Lethbridge is in there. Moose Jaw is in there. PA's got a pretty good team. But
Okay.
Medicine Hat, top dogs in the Eastern Conference.
Good for them. I kind of stopped following 2 to 3 weeks ago when kind of life got crazy here, but that's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
you betcha. Yeah. So, anyways, we're gonna kind of cue this to a half an hour. We're gonna go weekday mornings, breakfast with Tyson and Josh. So we'll cover the day's events tomorrow morning. So this is something new. We're still gonna have our interviews from time to time.
Absolutely.
You
And we'll
betcha,
get together for the odd show too, regardless. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's
What's
just been life's been a little crazy, and we wanted to keep it rolling, so we decided why not have coffee or breakfast with Tyson and Josh and cover this. And I apologize for now. I will be better tomorrow morning. I'll be a lot sharper on this
every
computer.
time we'll figure it out. We'll get it better and better every time. So, but before who plays tonight? Before we close it out, who's on the schedule for tonight's game, Monday Night Football?
Monday Night Football. Let's go. Well, I know the Oilers play tonight, so that's what I'll be watching because I want to see how bad we actually are.
No, they got to turn it around. They got to turn it around.
Well, no time like the present, but we got the LA Chargers versus the New York Jets tonight on Monday Night Football.
Oh, I'm a Herbert guy. I'll always take the Chargers, but that Jets defense and the way Herbert's been struggling this year, I feel for him, man. I don't know what the deal is, but I feel like he's got too much on his plate, and he feels like he's got to do it all for some reason. And I got to go Jets with their defense. To be honest with you, that defense is good.
Stellar. And maybe Devontae Adams ends up in New York next year for one last go with Aaron Rodgers.
He sure could. That would be amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers will be back this year, which is crazy.
Well, it sounds like that's an amazing healing job. Like,
well, he has that, like, Aaron Rodgers, as goofy as he is, he has that, like, fuck you, I can do this. You said 8 weeks, I'll do it in 6. Like, he's just got that attitude, and I think sometimes you can will things to happen. Like, you can rehab a little better, a little more focused. Like, he never got depressed. Like, then he got the surgery the next day. I've never heard of that. Most guys, like, next week he goes in for surgery. He pushed it like, no, this happens now. Every day matters because I'm going to start rehabbing while you're doing the surgery. Like, that was his attitude. As you're stitching me, I'm going to start rotating. And it's like, he was out throwing, twisting, jumping the other day. I was like, this guy, he's my hero. This guy's ridiculous.
And 39 years old for an athlete, that is not
a competitor, though. A super competitor. Yeah. Crazy man, but super competitor. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. So let's root for him. I'd love to see the Jets make the playoffs and Aaron
Me
Rodgers.
too. And that would be a hell of a team if he came back. That team is good with him.
They'd be scary. I wouldn't want to get him.
No, that defense plus a quarterback, that, like with Zach Wilson, it's like, man, we just got to get a couple touchdowns and we're good. Like,
yeah. If the defense holds us to 2, we probably are still winning the game.
Exactly. Just one safety. We just need to get that safety, baby.
Yes, sir. So, but anyways, our time is up. Join us tomorrow morning. We'll cover today's action and more thoughts on everything around the world.
We'll be right here.
You betcha. Catch you tomorrow, buddy.
Cheers, Tyson.
You bet.
See you, bud.
You bet. See ya.